if you've been trying to figure out how you can fit real estate into your busy schedule, you're really going to get a lot out of this Sensei session.
Hey, this is Niti, and what you're about to hear today is a very special episode with one of the members from our portfolio program.
We call these Sensei sessions. These interviews are designed to give you a perspective about what you can achieve with the right strategies and execution.
I hope you enjoy this episode, and for free resources, check out our show notes section to see how you can build and scale your portfolio.
I'm your host, Cheryl Tan, and today you get to hear from Megha Joshi and hear more details about her very first real estate deal. Megha, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks, Cheryl, and thanks to the Open Spaces team. I'm really excited.
Let's start with getting to know you just a little bit. What is it that you do for a day job, and how did you get interested in real estate?
I'm actually a physician, and so this is definitely a whole new territory for me. Growing up, we used to travel a lot, and my mom would always want to buy properties in all the exotic places we'd travel to, and so I definitely had kind of an interest in looking at, properties and real estate kind of on the side. And then after I met my husband, he also shared this passion with me. And so I think, after we both had kind of landed our jobs and kind of had settled in the state that we were going to live in, we both kind of looked to each other and were like, so now what, and so that's kind of when we decided, okay, I think it's time to kind of feel this inner desire that we both had and kind of dive into the real estate industry.
How did you get to Palak and Niti? So, you have your busy day job, you're doing all of the things, and you weren't really an investor, like reading all the things and listening to all the podcasts and getting all the books and things like that. How did you come across them?
I invested in a crowdfunding book, and that must have set the IT links off, because as soon as I rolled into Instagram, literally, I think the first ad that I saw was Palak and Niti's Open Spaces burst strategy. And so I was immediately drawn to Palak's story. Totally resonated with where I was in life. I had just had a 15-month-old daughter at the time. And I immediately clicked on her ad and clicked follow. And so the community there is just so warm and welcoming. I got a DM instantly, I think the next day, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. They really wanted to kind of be a part of the community, be a part of their family, which led to a series of phone calls about what my interest was and what my passion was. And here I am, and I've already started construction on my first deal and about to refinance in a couple of weeks.
So where do you live? And what is the property that you are working on right now? Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was super excited. I live in Bethesda, Maryland, and we bought our first property in Baltimore.
Okay.
So it's a 3-bed, 1-bath.
Okay. So how did you decide to invest in that particular city?
Yeah, that was probably the first biggest challenge we faced. I think Palak and Niti's program both offer great strategies for in-state where you live investing versus out-of-state investing. So really, we hadn't taken out-of-state investing off the table at all. In fact, that was probably our first go-to. We actually looked around the surrounding areas. So we looked in Philadelphia and West Virginia, and down even in the Carolinas. And so, we were going back, looking at the numbers. And then really, ultimately, I think it came down to pros and cons for us in terms of the time and investment that it would take. And then we just wanted to have the ability to have some drivable distance. And ultimately, the numbers work in Baltimore so well. My husband has worked in Baltimore for several years, so he kind of knew the ins and outs of the city, but I had no idea. So I was just purely looking at it from a number standpoint and all the deal analysis. And I was like, this is great. I think we have a city right in our own state.
So given your lifestyle, busy, busy. And I think both you and your husband are busy with a young child. How have you made this happen? How have you executed Palak and Niti's strategy in a way that serves you, your career, you and your husband's career, and then your child? How have you done all that?
First of all, a lot of it is just mind management that I think Palak and Niti also share, which is also such a wonderful thing about the program is they not only offer kind of the simple details on kind of how to do things, but they also offer a breadth of experience in terms of like how to work through your own emotions and like how to kind of manage your time and, figure out your priorities in that way. For us, I think reshifting some things like, I know Palak had said that she gave up Netflix and I was like, oh, that's easy. Like I can do that. So those are kind of like little things that I think I shifted in my life that I'm like, okay, instead of watching like a TV show, maybe I'll like look up some deal analyses or something like that. And it ended up turning into like a fun thing to the point where like now I watch Netflix and I'm like, is this as exciting? This is not exciting. This is like passive entertainment. So I think, just kind of little things in terms of shifting there definitely helped. And then I think ultimately it's about, what's your goal and what you want to achieve in life. And it really turned into almost like a thrill, like calling hard money lenders and figuring out who has the best terms and like who can get me the better deals and like, calling general contractors and seeing like who is, a good person to work with and like fostering that relationship. And it kind of really turned into a fun thing to develop relationships. And so you end up making the time for that, and so whether that be like putting the baby to bed and then us working on it at night or, taking a quick like lunch break to like look at your phone to like see if you've gotten any emails to your work address that like, people have responded to. So those are kind of little shifts that we made that like turned that into a priority for us.
What would you say to people though, who maybe say we are too busy? Right.
Yeah.
I have a busy career. My husband has a busy career. I don't have time. What do you say to someone like that?
Ultimately, it's about what you want to achieve. I think going through, kind of college and undergrad and grad school, like there were times where I'm just like, am I going to even finish this program? And we were already kind of overconsumed with information. And so once we had kind of received stable jobs, even though we were very busy, there's one thing that after having a child, you realize where did all your time go? And so I think before we had children, we felt like we had all of the time in the world. And then now we had a child and we had felt like we had no time in the world. And it was like another step. It was like, well, this is our goal is to continue to build wealth for our family, is entrepreneurship and make it so that we have time for each other. And this was an avenue that we saw that would allow us to spend more time with our family. And so I think kind of restructuring the way that we prioritize things. I like encourage everybody to do it. Like we obviously have a very busy life, but it turned into curiosity and passion for us. And I think you have to really look to what fuels you.
How did the program help you go through all of the things you have gone through and will go through as you get this property to market?
Yeah, I think the greatest thing about the program, well, there's so many great things about the program. First of all, I think the modules are amazing. That's just a wealth of information that you can always go back to. Like I'm going over the rent and the rehab module again now as I'm going through the process, and it's kind of cementing and solidifying some of the processes that I'm going through now. The other greatest takeaway is the weekly calls. Some of the simple things is just learning the template of how to talk to a general contractor. Like I think, Palak made us write down like, hi, my name is Megha Joshi. I'm a real estate investor. I'm interested in building a long-term relationship with a general contractor. Like, a simple exercise like that just really went a long way because first of all, I'm a physician. So I had to kind of get my mindset out of like being called Dr. So-and-so to like, I'm a real estate investor. And so for me, it was like a huge like career shift and like kind of owning that and feeling confident in that role. The community, it's so nice to see folks that are at different levels of you where they are in their journey. That was just amazing. But then also like seeing folks that perhaps just had started the program and who had just finished a module, to be able to kind of motivate them and inspire them. offer that kind of sage wisdom that I was given when I started the program, I think is just a nice place to be in, to be able to receive and give at the same time. I think that has like intense gratification, which not only makes you feel good about yourself, but like about the progress that you're making. It's just amazing and has helped me in my journey.
So would you be willing to share with us what your dreams are, what your vision is, and what is motivating you to do this work? Because it is work.
Yeah, no, it totally is. I think a month before I started this program, I was listening to kind of a life coach podcast, and very big on female entrepreneurship and really like blowing your own mind. And I was very attracted to that because I was just like, wow, like if I can put my mind to something and build, what some would think is already a very professional and stable and high earning career, imagine what else I can do. And so for me, it was about accessing my own inner wisdom, like to be able to like continue to achieve something if I could put my mind to it. So I think that was what really drive me to just be able to show myself what I'm capable of if I want to do it. And then also with my passion, like we've, both enjoyed real estate. The Palak story about like building wealth and that creating time for our family. Like, I think we both love what we do, but we don't know if we want to work till we're 70 doing what we're doing, or maybe in the time requirement that it does require. And then I think we've eventually both wanted to be our own bosses, in that respect. And so there were kind of a lot of different things that kind of combined together that kind of worked with real estate.
Nice, really nice. How would you recommend the program to someone? And you've talked about so many things, but just wanted to get an idea of if you had a friend who was interested and had said, I'm thinking about it. How would you recommend this program to them?
This program offers so much value. Like Palak and Niti have not only shared their vulnerable experience, but offer so much value that I think is, bigger and more tremendous than any financial investment that, it takes to join the program. And so, what I would probably recommend is that do it, get started. They make it easy for you. You could have a wealth of information and they can direct you to this one strategy that will take you to success, or you could have no knowledge, such as me, and follow this strategy and it take you to success. So I think that's the wonderful thing about this program, is that it can speak to a large variety of people and take you to your path.
I love it. Do you have a doors goal? Like a goal of how many doors you want by the end? I know the vision is bigger, but do you have like a number, or is it something that you're still formulating?
In the next year, I would like to get 5 doors, I think is kind of my goal. And then just put an exponential numerator on it and just keep on going, hopefully after that.
I love it. The one last thing, something I ask everyone who comes on the show is, can you fill in the blanks to the sentence? Before the program, now I. So
before the program, I would say I was just dreaming of becoming a real estate investor. And I would say now I'm a doer and I am a real estate investor, period. Exclamation point, actually. Yeah.
That's right. Exclamation point. Thank you so much. This was so inspiring.
When you're ready to get serious, you can join us at theinvestoraccelerator.com.
It's like getting 1,000 episodes worth of information in 5 days, and it's everything you need to build your actionable plan to financial freedom and making work optional.